it's Eva Gemini, and today we're building this narrow shoe cabinet for my hallway. All right, so we're by my patio door. This is where it leads to the patio where I do all of the construction and woodworking. And my tools are right in front of me, and there is the entrance from the stairway to this little hallway. So we keep our shoes currently on this plastic mat that has definitely seen better days. And we have constantly stepped on it, bumped into it. It's always an issue because it's kind of further from the wall. So I think it's time for it to go. My plan here is to build something that's mounted onto this wall, but it's going to be a little bit more narrow so that it's not as protruding from the wall and it's less likely to get bumped into, hopefully. All right, in addition to making something for the first time, which is this narrow shoe cabinet, I'm going to up the ante a little bit and make it a nothing new challenge. So, which means I can't buy anything new for this project, including hardware, including wood. So we're going to use all the scrap wood that I can and all the hardware that I already have. And we're going to spend $0 for this project. I do have a lot of scrap wood that I should use for this project, so I think it would be a perfect project to do. But yeah, I'm ready to challenge myself, so let's get started. So I'm going to be building something like this, something simple that will have drawers that can swivel out to store the shoes. Those are going to be the bottom two drawers. And I also plan on having the top to be a regular hinge door to store other stuff we may need outdoors, like our bug spray or our keys or something. So I'm going to be using this piece of leftover wood that I had used for the mirror frame for the bathroom makeover a couple weeks ago. Since I do have a limited amount of wood, I plan each cut carefully by listing all my cuts on paper and then drawing them out on the wood to maximize the use of the board. First, I'll cut out the bracket template that part of the drawers, how the shoes will swing out. Then I cut the rest of the straight cuts with my circle saw. To keep things organized, I did make sure to label each piece. And for the sides of the cabinet, I unfortunately didn't have enough wood for this, so I'm going to use some leftover MDF that I had instead. After sanding everything, I started assembly. I used pocket holes to assemble the side MDF pieces with 2 braces as well as the top shelf. To mount the shoe cabinet, we're going to be using a French cleat. It's basically a wood piece that has a 45-degree angle cut on one side to fit on its mate on the wall. This is left over for my tool cabinet build. And this is what we have so far, and it's looking pretty good. I do want to clean up the edges though with a router to make it uniform. But first, let's find some trim to make the door fronts. Like I said, we got a lot of scrap wood to use, and I have to admit I've held on to these for maybe a couple years now, so I definitely have to use it. We're going to cut the faces to size, and then we'll use this $1 trim I got from the resort to trim it out. Here are our doors, and that's it for day 1. See you later for day 2. First, let's clean up the edges with a flush trim bit on the router, and next we'll fill all the holes with some wood putty. Then let's make the other brackets using the template I made yesterday. So first we're going to use the jigsaw to rough cut everything, and then we'll do double-sided tape and a router to do more of the precise cuts. Now we can attach the brackets to the bottom and start building out the swing out drawer. This is going to be the inside of the drawer here, and then we'll attach the drawer later on like so, but we're not going to do that quite yet. Next, I'm going to add these small hinges to attach the top door. I did end up changing to another pair of hinges because they were just a little bit longer. You'll see here that I'm attempting to align the second cabinet door. What I later realized is that one, the spacing between the first and second door did not allow for the hinge door to open all the way that I wanted. And two, the second door couldn't swing open because the door needed to be more narrower than the sides, not flush to the sides as I had made it here. Realizing that made me very frustrated, and so we're just going to call it a day. So today we're installing these swinging drawers. I'm first marking where I'm going to be drilling a hole using the hole in the brackets here as the guide, and I'm going to be using a 3/4 inch spade bit since I'm going to be using 3/4 inch dowels left over from when I made the pegboard to organize my pots and pans. I'm also going to head to my collection of random bits and bobs that came with various Ikea builds over the years, and we're going to use these washers here. After putting the dowels in, I marked where to cut them to size, and then we're going to drill a hole through the center. I then drilled the washer into one side with a screw, and then we'll install it like so. And then I did end up shortening the width of the doors, so let's install them. Yay, it works! Alright, next we'll prime and paint everything. I'm going to be using a warm white called White Dove from Valspar, left over when I made the Urban Outfitter Isabel bookshelf dupe I had made a couple years ago. And we'll let everything dry overnight, and we'll see you tomorrow. Okay, it's assembly day. Let's put everything all together. And like I mentioned earlier, I am mounting this on the wall using a French cleat. So I'm going to be installing that and making sure that's on a stud. Then we'll put our cabinet onto place. Very nice. Now let's test to see if the shoes fits, and it works. I didn't film this, but I made little knobs out of these same 3/4 inch dowels for our handles for all of our drawers. I think this is so much better and a cleaner look to this area, and definitely no more stepping on this plastic mat and breaking it everywhere. Thank you so much for watching this video. I am overall very pleased on the functionality and figuring out the swiveling door action on my own and building everything from scratch with no new materials, which makes it that much better because we spent $0 on this project. Of course, it comes with some challenges, so figuring out the swiveling action was definitely a little challenging, and definitely wanted to get rid of this gap in between this top door and the second door. Originally had it closed together, but with the hinge from the top door, it wouldn't open when it was too close. So that's why I had to make the gap there. But I think I'm just going to add some trim underneath this door here so that it will not show anymore. And you can see this weird, ugly gap. But I'm so glad not to be tripping over that plastic mat anymore. I'm going to throw that away. And we have this more low profile shoe cabinet in here, which is perfect for this space. But yeah, don't forget to subscribe. You can also follow me on socials at Hi DIY Gemini, and I will catch you at the next project. Bye!